there's this major important kind of paradigm shift in your mentality in psychology when you come to trading, and that's becoming process oriented and process focused rather than outcome focused, right? And everyone talks about this, but how do you really become process focused instead of outcome focused? So whenever you focus on the outcome, win or losing, you're always going to be chasing that next win or the next dopamine hit of really of winning and making that money. And if you're constantly striving for money, it'll constantly flee from you and you'll never find success in trading. But as you learn, the more and more you can become attached with the process of becoming a trader and doing the necessary steps, that's the only way you will succeed. No one is different from that. There's only one way out of the maze, and that's by following your rules and submitting to your rules. And in trading, you are your own boss, right? So it's either you submit to the boss and the rules of the outside world and you kind of follow suit with that and you're happy with that. You can go get a McDonald's application if you wanted to. Or if you're kind of sick and tired of that and you don't want to follow that, then you have to submit to your own rules. There's not like this freedom where you can just kind of do whatever you want. And same thing in trading. And as you find success in trading, and as you, especially as you're trying to learn, trading does offer freedom, but there's a misconception that you can do whatever you want once you succeed or even while you're trading. And that's not true, right? In order to stay disciplined in trading, you have to have discipline in almost every aspect of your life outside of trading. And that's where it can become difficult. So as we look at, today's kind of psych lecture, I want to focus on how you actually can wire your brain to love the process, because it's easier said than done for sure. But how can you actually, biologically, we are all the same, but we're all different, right? We have the same kind of human nature. We are all equally affected by greed and fear, but we're also wired the same way. Our brains work a certain way, and you can kind of hijack your brain both through the subconscious and conscious actions. So you are giving yourself the best outcome to trade. And for people who are struggling, this may be something that you can look forward to and kind of be like, okay, here's it may not assist you in the immediate, but it'll help you build discipline and kind of help you maybe find your own personalized ways of solving the issues that you approach in your psychology, right? Because the way that I approach things and the way that I, outside of trading, can kind of stay disciplined may be different from you because you have a different life or you have different things you got to get done. So I'm going to kind of offer you different things that hopefully can help tame your human nature. So as we look at the brain, okay, there's two major systems that are in play when you're trading. That is both the limbic system, okay, which is your amygdala and parts of your brain that are related to emotion, and then you have your prefrontal cortex. Okay, and that is where your logical decisions are made. That's where you want to be trading from. So how do you stay in this prefrontal cortex and minimize the amount of influence that the limbic system has? So the first thing we're going to talk about is you cannot become emotionless. You can definitely reduce your reaction to emotions, but in order to survive as a human, you need to have emotions and you need to have a fight or flight. You cannot completely remove that out of your brain. So people who say, oh, in trading, you have to be emotionless, it's not true. You have to have zero reaction to the emotions. You have to understand, you have to be extremely self-aware to realize when your brain is shifting into this limbic system. But there's ways you can stay in this prefrontal cortex system and be able to think logically and clearly and act the way that you should be acting. So limbic system is in charge of your cravings. It's also in charge of that the dopamine aspect, right? Like you're constantly seeking dopamine whilst the prefrontal cortex is more logic based. But for example, you'll take a loss and you will have a craving. And the craving is this increase in dopamine that's sent into your brain that produces motivation and drive. Okay, so dopamine is not the feel-good chemical. It is in a sense, but it's also in charge of drive and motivation. Now, when you wrongly associate that drive and motivation with a specific action that's unwanted, it's very hard to kind of get out of that mode, right? And anyone who's taken a loss or has blown an account understands exactly what I'm talking about, where you take a loss and then you have this extreme drive and like want to get rid of that pain, and the only thing that you feel like to get rid of that drive and kind of complete that satiation of hunger of what your brain is wanting is by over leveraging and over trading, the things that we don't want to do. So how do we stop doing the things we don't want to do and do the things we do? You have to understand that, dopamine is just a single chemical that you can fulfill through multiple different ways, right? There's good dopamine and there's bad dopamine. So instead of getting your hunger satisfied and your dopamine satisfied from clicking the button and doing those things, you have to rewire your brain into getting dopamine from following a process and rewarding yourself for that process. Okay, so if you wake up in the morning, you get your bias done, you get your you get in front of your charts and you're tape reading, you have to solely focus on, am I doing what I need to be doing? And that's why after the end of the streams, you'll hear me say, do what you're supposed to be doing and journal and all those things, because you need to be both rewarding yourself for doing the proper actions, even if they don't produce some sort of a monetary gain. Because if you're constantly worried about that monetary gain, the things that, if you slip up, if you stop being disciplined, you're going to realize that it'll all come crashing down. So the way you get dopamine is you need to reward yourself in some sense, or pat yourself on the back, but for following rules. And you can do this in multiple different healthy ways. There's actually ways to get dopamine that do not require you to over leverage, over trade, but it's a lot of the times you have to be completely self-aware that you're getting into that state. So the problem is newer people are not going to be self-aware that they're entering into that limbic system, and it's going to be very hard to control your actions and your reactions to those urges. So in the beginning, you're going to sometimes have to blow accounts, not have to, but you'll find yourself blowing accounts and doing things that are stupid until you realize, okay, this is what I'm doing, I need to fix it. But then some people get stuck in that, you know how to fix it, but you can't really act it out. So there's certain ways you can reward yourself, right? Maybe it's, you follow your rules. Maybe you get to do something that you normally don't do, or you're eating some sort of food, or you're, you have to be encouraging yourself, especially in your journal, for following those rules. So when you go in and journal after the day, even when you take a trade or when you don't take a trade, the outcome should not matter, right? You should be focused on, do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do this? The last part that you really can focus on is, did I execute properly? Did I put my stop loss in the correct spot according to my plan? And did I put my TP in the correct spot? And did I manage that trade properly? Whatever the outcome of the trade is, it literally does not matter. And you have to remove any attachment to the outcome. Like, the outcome is, in a sense, it's random. It's based on a probability of your model, whether that's 80%, whether that's 40%. So you're not going to win every trade, and you never know which trade is going to win and which trade is going to lose. So in order to reward yourself and kind of encourage yourself to stay in this prefrontal cortex and not think about the outcome, you have to reward yourself in some manner, whether it's going to the gym or, like I said, of treating yourself in some sense. But the best way really is just self-talk in your journal, right? Self-talk is one of the major things that'll drive you to either be better or to get things done, and it's how you look at yourself. So if you don't have this positive self-talk, you'll never be good at trading, because you'll constantly be degrading yourself of the things you shouldn't be doing. So in your journal, that's kind of the superpower of, okay, did I do what I need to be doing? And maybe you write, good job, A+, 100%. I'm proud of you. That's the things you need to be writing in your journal to be actually rewarding yourself of, like, think about kind of especially who you look up to, that, especially as a child and as you're growing up, like, what did you gain this kind of like achievement feeling from? A lot of the people, it's from school or from your parents, or from those around you. So if you can kind of talk in a manner in your journal the way that some of those mentor figures would talk to you, it's a very rewarding system, right? Like, if you value school or your teachers and things like that, if you in your journal are writing, I did a great job, blah, 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 and then at the top, you put an A+ and 100%, and you circle it and you highlight it, to look at that each day, and you flip through a week of your journal and you see A plus, 100%, 100%, 100%, and you be honest with yourself of, the times that you mess up, you're not going to be perfect, but that's why your risk management is there. Okay. So that comes back to your submission to rules, right? You either submit to the world's rules and you follow that process and that system and you stay in that, or you have to follow your own. There is no in between. You can't just have this freedom of not doing anything, right? The successful traders you see and the successful people around the world are very disciplined in their own aspects. They go to the gym, they eat properly. And as a trader, especially, you are a professional mental athlete, right? 90% of people cannot play in the NBA. 90% of people cannot play for Barcelona. It's just you're not physically fit and you're also not mentally fit. Same thing with trading, right? Why do you think 90 to 95% of people in the markets are unprofitable? You have to become a professional. So you have to treat your body and you have to treat your mind like a professional would, right? So that means taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. You have to, I am an avid supporter of staying physically fit because I think that's the best way you can really stay disciplined and push yourself is to like forcefully put yourself in a painful situation that's not going to kill you, but it helps you grow in a sense. So staying physically fit, taking care of your body, right? Making sure you're drinking enough water, making sure you are taking supplements. Vitamin D is extremely important for your serotonin production that helps you stay in a very positive mindset and stays in this prefrontal cortex. So I can give a whole list of health wise, how you can stay healthy, but you're not going to be able to stay mentally healthy if you're not physically healthy at all, right? So, figuring out the ways that you can stay mentally locked in this prefrontal cortex is going to be up to you. But I encourage you to take some time and write out like a plan for the day, right? Maybe you have, okay, tomorrow, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, every 30 minutes, I'm going to have every single thing that I need to do on this checklist. Because if you really think about it, right? If you were to tomorrow lock yourself in your room for the next 24 hours and all you had was a piece of paper and a pen, you would figure your entire life out. Every problem that you had, you could write down on a piece of paper, figure out a solution if you spend time on it, and solve it, right? And grow in the ways you want to grow. The problem that we have is sometimes we know what we're supposed to be doing, but then we procrastinate because we fear that what if the thing that we're supposed to be doing produces a result that we're not looking for? What if staying disciplined in trading, what if following my rules doesn't make me profitable? Then what? You didn't even do it to find out if that's true. And then you're relying on this lie that you told yourself and you're procrastinating following the rules. And then you're staying in this unprofitable way because at least if you do what you're supposed to be doing and it doesn't work out, you can pinpoint exactly what you need to fix. And then you fix that and you apply it. And if it doesn't work, it's a scientific approach. It's a scientific model of you have your rules, you test it according to the rules. You can't have variables thrown in that'll mess up the outcome. So you have to approach trading in this very systematic way. And then once you get the system that works, you have a model that works, you have a mental model that works, you have a psychology model that works, you stop thinking. You figure it out and you stop thinking. You stop thinking about the time. You stop thinking about when you take a loss and you got to cut risk to 50%, how many wins you got to take to get back to your equity high. What is that going to do? You're going to doubt the process. You're going to be like, oh, it's going to take too long, or oh, it's going to do this. You really think, you have to think like a profitable, successful trader. You honestly think if you have $3 million in the bank, that when you take 2 losses in a row and you got to cut risk, that you're going to be like, oh, I don't want to do this. This what if I, like, no, you know that the process works and the numbers add up to show that you are going to be exactly where you want to be. But the more that you focus on that process, the more you focus about the money, it'll constantly run from you. So you have to fall in love with, okay, you are a professional mental athlete. You're not worried about in each individual game and the outcome of the game. You're worried about how can I be in the best physical and mental shape so I actually can put myself in a position to win it. You want to win in trading, you got to put yourself in that best position. You're not going to find a professional NFL athlete who sits on the couch all day and then, eats chips, watches TV for 24 hours, scrolls on TikTok, and then they lose their game, and then they're complaining about losing the game. Like, the life you're living is directly correlated to the decisions that you made. Obviously, some people spawn in with better RNG than others. You're going to be put in different positions, and that's life. It's unfair. But being unsuccessful in trading and it's not working out is, in all honesty, your fault. It is. It's no one else's fault. And when you can accept that, and it should be freeing in the sense of like, okay, if it's my fault, that means I'm the one who can fix it. And you get a piece of paper out, you get a pen out, you lock yourself in your room for 2 hours. Like, you tell me how much time you have in the day that's wasted. Too much. It's way too much. So when you look, you actually lock in and you're like, all right, let me actually address these issues and figure out viable solutions that I would like to do. And you reward yourself for doing those things. You have to reward yourself in some sense. So figure out what works for you. I'm not going to tell you, you do this or do this because it's going to be different for everyone. But at least you have to kind of satiate that dopamine craving through healthy ways. So instead of, you're going to feel that emotion rise. You're going to take a loss. And if you're not in that proper mindset, you're going to feel this buildup of anxiety and of craving inside your body. But immediately what you have to do is you have to have a protocol that you follow that both satiates the hunger as well as keeps your risk and keeps your capital intact and maintained, and make sure you're not breaking those rules. So figure out a process that it's like, I've said this before on different streams, but you have to have like a pilot's protocol for when the plane is on fire, right? A pilot, when the plane is going down, is not going to try and go off of memory and feeling of how to fix the issue. They open up the manual, they flip around to the page that like has a specific issue, and then they follow it without thinking because they trust that rule book because it's been studied, it's been reused, it's saved countless of people. And for a pilot to be like, yeah, I'm not going to use it this time, what do you think is going to happen? Sure, they may land the plane, but then they're going to misassociate that plane landing with skill rather than luck. And that's what you're doing when you don't follow your rules and you take a win. ICT says it's like cheating on your wife and getting away with it. It's like, it's true. It's like you're getting this false confidence and this false dopamine for doing something you're not supposed to be doing. And trading is one of the only things that's going to do that for you. And that's why it's so hard, because you can do the wrong thing and still get paid for it in the short term. In the long term, it'll never work. Like, look at where a lot of people are today. If you've tried to break your rules, if you try to do certain things, if you try to full port accounts, it may work 1 or 2 times, but as you keep doing it over and over and over again, everyone can tell you it does not work. Like, the math is not, it doesn't add up. So to stay in this prefrontal cortex, there's obviously ways you can, you have to stay disciplined, right? A lot of the people, there's going to be a handful of things that you're going to have to do that maybe you don't want to do on a day-to-day basis, but you have to. That's discipline. Discipline is doing things when you don't want to, despite how you feel, right? So in order to stay in this logical brain, you may have to go to the gym every day or 5 times a week. You may have to meditate before you trade. You may have to wake up early. You may have to go for a run. You may have to drink 8 glasses of water. Things you're not going to want to do every day. But it's either the pain of discipline or it's the pain of regret. Because as soon as you stop doing those things and you slip up and you get lazy, you know what's going to happen. You're going to take that success and it's going to go right down the drain. And you get to rebuild yourself back up using the same process. So obviously you're not going to be perfect. There's going to be times where you take breaks, and there's going to be times where you're not going to be able to do everything. But consistency is not about doing the same thing every day. It's about adjustments and being very flexible in your execution of your process. So sometimes, you're going to say, okay, this amount of points or this amount of opportunity is enough for today, right? You're going to be, maybe it's a low probability today, you're scalping. Okay, my potential daily profit, I don't really think you should have a daily profit goal, but let's say for this example, your daily profit goal is $1,000, right? That's what you're shooting for. I think most people should not have a daily profit goal. It's only maybe advanced traders, but sometimes you're only going to get 20 points or 30 points. But that consistency is not there to try and make you push it. It's just like, are you giving your best effort? If you're giving your best effort in trading, you'll be successful, because I'm no different from you. All the successful other traders are no different from you. They're all human. They all have the same problems. You all have the same hunger and craving. But how come some people can do it and other people can't? It's because they recognize that there's no other way to succeed in this besides one way, and no one is different. If you think you're different, you're prideful, and you're going to find out real quick that you're not. There goes your account in 2 seconds. There goes your money in 2 seconds. You know, like you're going to get humbled real quick. And it's the people who do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result that are stuck in that position. Okay, so it's about taking accountability and figuring out, okay, what is the things that I need to do on a day-to-day basis that keep me disciplined? And there's no, you can't just not do anything. You can't just show up, wake up at 9:27, get a 3-minute bias, trade for 20 seconds, and then go back in bed and lay there for 4 hours and pout about how you just blew your account. Like, what do you expect? You're a professional athlete, so treat yourself like one. You got to hold yourself to a certain standard and be like, all right, I have a job to do. People are counting on me because it's, you know, in trading, you're probably not even doing it just for yourself. You got other people that are, you in your mind are like, okay, I'm gonna treat these people. I'm gonna take care of these people. I'm gonna take care of this, and this, and make sure that people in my family and the friends around me and the people that you love will never have to worry about money ever again. So keep that in the back of your mind as you create this model and these daily tasks that you know are going to help you, and think about them as you do it. And think about the gift and opportunity you didn't have to be in a Discord call learning about psychology that will make you multi-millions of dollars every year if you wanted it to. Like, a lot of people don't even have water, and we're worried about, you know, how we have to cut our risk to $500 or $3,000 instead of $6,000. Like, you got to get a grip sometimes, you know? And, you know, sometimes it's these psychology streams that you kind of have to realize, okay, the thing that I'm doing is not working. So I got to change something. And that's, if you're able to look at that and humbly accept that, okay, these are issues that I have to fix, and you approach those issues and stop procrastinating, that's the only way you're going to be successful in this. Okay. Right. Yeah. And the more that you worry about the outcome and you attach your confidence to the outcome, the more you're going to find your failure. Right. As soon as you get hyped about a win, as soon as you sulk about a loss, you're constantly in that swaying back and forth. You'll find yourself in different seasons of life. The good times and the bad times, the good times and the bad times, the winning and the losing, the taking a good trade and then the blowing the accounts. Because you're constantly looking at the outcome and thinking the outcome determines how well you're doing in life or how well you're trading. It's not true. It's the people who are doing the same thing every day, showing up and doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Then you see their rewards. You see the benefits that they're reaping and sowing. It's not, and you know, in the whole trading space is skewed because all you see is people just posting their wins and posting this and this, and you think that that's what it is, and it's not. You don't see behind the scenes 90% of what they're doing or what they're going through to stay in that kind of mindset. And you talk to any of them and it's all the same thing. Follow your rules, follow your risk management, approach the market the same way. Do not care about the wins and losses. You think all those people, like, they're not making it up. All the successful traders all talk the same. They all say the same things. And you think that you're going to be different. You're not. Right? If ICT has to follow his rules, if your mentor or whoever you look up to has to follow their rules to be successful, you have to do it as well. And it's not like it's not a painful thing. You'll find that you're actually happier in life when you go to the gym, when you do the things you say you're going to do instead of procrastinating and not doing them. Right? It may suck in the time that you're doing it, but you get real dopamine. You get this good feeling of, I deserved my sleep for the day. Right? Like, what did you accomplish today? What did you actually accomplish today that pushed you to be the best person that you want to be? And why do you deserve to go to bed today? Like, are you actually tired from putting out, okay, this is the day that I am glad to be alive, and I proved I deserve to be alive, in a sense of, like, you've been blessed with this opportunity to even live, and you're gonna, like, kind of throw it away. It's such a screw you to God, in a sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? So hunker down and figure out your issues, approach them head on, and solve it. And if you have people around you, especially that not are there to take care of the problems for you, but are there to push you, it's phenomenal. I have a group of 3 guys that I personally, we talk to on an almost daily basis of like, you know, things are going to get hard, and they're learning in the sense of they have to learn what it's like to take a loss and a win and that's kind of stuff. But to be able to share those efforts, especially with some other traders, is extremely helpful because you can get it off your chest, not just from your journal, but from other people who understand the problems and the difficulties that trading brings. So I'm sure you could probably DM anyone in this Discord and be like, yo, I need help, or I just want to make a group chat where on every Friday we jump on a call and we talk about our how well we did in our process for the week. I don't care what your P&L is. I don't care if you took 5 losses in a row. If that's your model and that's what you did, you're doing better than 90% of people. And the people that you see just post their P&L, that's great. But did they full port to get there? Did they follow the rules to get there? You never know. So keep each other accountable. And if you have a partner or if you have a group of people, not to trade with, but really just to keep you kind of just in that mode of, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. And that kind of stuff is extremely important, right? So I'm not gonna spiel too much about psychology. That's for the most part what I kind of want to give you, and for you to take away is you are a professional mental athlete. So you have to treat yourself like one, right? You got to do the things outside and inside of trading that will make you perform at the absolute best. And you got to take care of your mind, body, and spirit. And if you're not doing one of those things, you're going to find that you're not going to be able to perform well, and you're not going to be disciplined enough to stay disciplined in trading, right? So we'll continue to have these psychology streams probably 2 times a month or once a week, depending on kind of what I'm thinking. It's just really anytime I have an issue, or if I have something that I see that people are struggling with, I like to bring it up because, you know, people don't talk about the psychology. They always talk about the technical side of it. But once you have a model, you realize that it's 90% psychology. And like I said before, once you have that psychological model and you find what works for you, excuse me, you stop thinking. You stop thinking about what it's going to produce or how long this kind of payout's going to take or whatever. You just show up, you do the thing you're supposed to be doing, and that's it. And you stop worrying about the outcome, because the outcome is guaranteed to you if you do the things you're supposed to be doing. End of story. You will never find a trader who is showing up and doing exactly what they need to be doing that's unsuccessful. You're not. Why do you think that is? Because they are disciplined. They follow the rules that they place before them. Because it's either you submit to the rules that you make or you submit to the McDonald's application. Which one? There's no in between. You got to pick. It's 2 different types of pain. The pain of discipline or pain of regret. But the discipline is always less painful than the pain of regret. And you know that. The times that you, maybe 1 or 2 times that you actually traded properly on a day, you know, okay, that discipline, you have this urge to do something and you stay disciplined. You're so happy with yourself. But then when you blow the account or you do something you're not supposed to be doing, you're sitting there the entire day thinking about, oh, I wish I didn't do that, or oh, what am I gonna? I have to get this money back, or I have to do this and this, and it eats away at you, and that's not a way to live. It's literally not. You're gonna find yourself depressed. You're gonna find yourself in a very, very bad mental spot if that's what you're thinking, and you're just constantly in the state of regret, right? So, anyways, any good tips for market structure or understanding where current dealing ranges inside the time frame you trade, like the 15-minute or the 1 minute? If you want to learn market structure, episode 12 of the 2022 mentorship is fantastic, as well as the T-Trades video about advanced market structure. Dealing ranges, it's really up to you how you look at it, but I also like T-Trades, sorry. TJR now. Dealing ranges, preferably like a bullish dealing range, you're going to have a stop sweep or a higher time frame PD array that's traded into, and then the most recent high. So when we're looking at the 15-minute chart for today, when I'm looking at that implied dealing range of where do I think price is going to retrace into, on the 15-minute chart prior to 9:30, this would be the dealing range I'm using. Okay. because we're trading into a higher time frame PD right here. I think there might be an hourly gap. No, never mind. But it's a 15-minute gap. It's trading into, creating that new dealing range low up to that swing high that's made. You can also use a stop run, right? Like, so here, if you have this, if you're using this dealing range, you have the stop run on that short-term low that creates the new dealing range low up to this displacement leg high. That becomes your dealing range. So the dealing range I was using today for the execution was this dealing range here. I'm not going to use this one or this one or this one because those are child dealing ranges to this larger parent one. And I'm also not going to use this entire daily dealing range because to me, for it to drop this far into discount and then move back higher, it's not in line with my bias anymore. So dealing ranges is something that you definitely have to work at because it seems subjective in the beginning and you're going to obviously be wrong. But as you work at it more and more and more, it's kind of like second nature. You don't even really think about it. It's just, here's the dealing range, mark out some stuff, and it's pretty simple to look at. But yeah, anytime you're looking for a bullish dealing range, you want to find a stop sweep or some sort of a higher time frame PD range trading into to create that swing low. Then you look for displacement, and then whatever that current swing high is, then that would be your dealing range. And then same thing for bearish dealing ranges. You want to see some sort of a stop run down to here, and this becomes your new dealing range there. Okay. Yeah, if you got any other questions, you can post them up in the chat here. We'll go for, I don't know, a couple 5 to 10 more minutes. If there's no questions, then we'll wrap it up. And then I'll post that the execution video up today. It's a fantastic video if you want to go in and watch it. It'll have the full trade execution from the trade I took today, this one here. If you want to see this, basically going from low of session up to high of session. So I have the full like actual trade execution recorded, as well as the analysis post of kind of what I'm thinking and why I'm taking stuff off as they offer it to me, and obviously the PD arrays and things like the technical side of it. And technicals is, technicals is really the easy part, to be completely honest. Once you learn the technicals, once you have access to good resources, you can take these kind of trades, and it's not going to be every day. It's not going to be every week. I have not taken this kind of a trade in probably 3 weeks, like an actual true low of session to high of session, turtle soup kind of thing at 9:30. It's not been offered to me the past couple of weeks. I've been kind of scalping inside the range, but when it offers itself and everything's kind of lining up, it's a very rewarding, trading is a very rewarding thing. Because this is not an execution in the sense of, look how good this trade is. It's just like, for me, I waited patiently for this. And this is my execution. This is a different model that I'm using. It's a 930 turtle soup entry with pyramid entries after that. But I'm extremely proud of this because I waited weeks for this and I managed the trade extremely well. I placed my stop loss and TPs in areas that I know I follow on a day-to-day basis, and it produces sometimes these larger runs. So that's where you're going to find that that profitability and that success is from following the rules, and then you see the outcomes as they show. Okay. Finding the parent. What were the good trades in London today? I didn't see any. I didn't actually look at London today. I don't think anytime I'm looking at London, it's really just the 3 to 4 a.m. silver bullet. But I mean, Monday with no news. I don't even know what the heck this is, to be completely honest. It just looks like sloppy PE. I don't trade London, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. What time frame you used? Oh, the 1 minute time frame for my execution specifically. Managed on the 1 minute and 5 minute, but different PD rates obviously from the 4 hour, 1 hour, 15, 5, 1, and this target was on the daily. So I'm using multiple different time frames to analyze and execute, and then, but this is what works for me. So through the process of trading and succeeding and losing and failing, I've refined down exactly what I like to trade, how I like to manage myself. Obviously, like I said, it's going to be different from each individual person to person, and you're going to have to fail to find out what works, to be completely honest, right? Like I didn't have a mentor besides ICT to be like, use this and this. And ICT has tons of content. So I have traded every single model he's ever released. I've traded every single session, every single macro. I've used every single PD rate to get in. And it's through those failures and through that almost not wasted time, but it's a very good process because I know that it's my own experience and my own failures, and I can trust those failures to produce some sort of a diamond in the rough, if you would. And that's what the PDF is. The PDF is 4 years of content and thousands of hours of ICT content refined down to exactly what I think is the most important stuff, where you can take high to low of days trades and from high to low of session trades and get in a confident model that repeats over and over, week after week, day after day. So that's why it's priced at the price it is, because it's literally, here's all of my experience put in a PDF. Here's what to focus on. Here's stuff that I haven't released publicly, like draw on time, where you can get really good exits and entries. And you're not going to find it. I have not seen anything else like that online. And that's why, you could ask anyone who has that PDF. It's rated 5 stars for a reason. Anyone who has it, I can tell you it produces, if you study it, if you spend time in it, it produces absolute monsters. Prop firms are you focused on right now? Currently Tradeify. I've got live accounts as well, but Tradeify is the main one. I might go back to Top Step because of the rules are they're getting a little bit better, and I actually do like the Top Step X platform a lot. So I may jump over there, but until I have issues with Tradeify, I'm liking their accounts right now. I posted that screenshot a couple of weeks ago about the payout, but I typically don't share that stuff because I owe it to nobody. And you can see the proof in the pudding just from the tape reading and stuff I put out online. But yeah, Tradeify and live accounts as of right now. In the what's your view on tomorrow? We close very bullish. The next day should take. What the heck just happened? Whoops. Everyone see properly? Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. Let me check. I don't really know, to be completely honest with you. I mean, as of right now, it looks bullish because there's no indication it wants to reverse, but I have to see London print to really have a good bias for tomorrow. We actually have a good week this week based on the economic calendar. We've got Tuesday I'm looking to trade, Thursday I'm looking to trade, Friday I'm looking to trade, Wednesday is really the lowest probability day out of this week. So bias is going to be day by day. We're still within this kind of daily consolidation range and deep discount. So I prefer bullish price action, but we're leaving a lot of these relative equal lows down here where this could be a manipulation into the range, into premium, and then it sells off. But you never know with the news and what Trump's doing. He I don't know. He's apparently just is the market maker himself. So I have no strict bias for tomorrow. But yeah, soft bias would be bullish going into the day. And we're no retracements into any 4-hour PD arrays been very uneasy. Yeah, it's a difficult day to read in the sense of standard mechanics, but this is why bias is over everything. It was, a continuation from Friday, but if the bias is up here and the draw on liquidity is up here, everything else is subjected to that, right? So you're not going to see specific profiles. You may not see a low of the day place in that London. You may not see manipulation below midnight opening price, which I covered this in the analysis you'll see as I posted on YouTube. But we did have the 1-hour PD array, the IRL here, traded into during the New York session, which, as well as the 15, that's criteria for what we want to see on the 1-hour time frame for the session, right? 1-hour PD array up to 1-hour PD array from IRL to ERL, and this was the previous week high from the week of March 9th. I'm waiting for the tax refund to jump on it real. I gotta file mine. I'm gonna get cooked. But yeah, so I don't want to hold you for too long. We probably will have a stream tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday, most likely not a stream. I'll keep you guys updated. And then, yeah, I would highly, highly suggest you to watch the video that I'll post today. It may be 20 minutes, but I think it's, for the technical side of it, it's very educational. And obviously, if you want to join the private group, links are in the resources tab. I've got still a couple spots open for the tier 3. If you want personal mentorship by me, we have 4-hour one-on-one calls basically per month for the tier 3 guys. And then I'm still always going to vouch for the PDF because it's something that I think was game changing for everyone. The concepts in there, I don't think you'll need anything else. But I understand if you don't want to pick it up, perfectly fine. It's not going to like pay the bills, but it'll give you some free sauce you won't see anywhere else. So I'll talk to you guys, Lord willing, tomorrow. Those in the tier 2. And otherwise, I will see you guys maybe for the next public stream, potentially on Wednesday or potentially on the weekend. I'll let you guys know as usual. So I'll post this recording up with the other ones as well. Those will be found in the YouTube vids section. And if you've got any questions or you want to reach out to me about the private mentorship, etc., feel free to shoot me a DM or any of my admins a DM, and we'll be happy to help you. So I wish you all the best, and I hope that this lecture was insightful and encourages you to solve some of those problems that you may be dealing with psychologically and get on top of those things before it's too late. And you got to just, spend more time in that sulking kind of mindset, which you never should be sitting in. So praying for you, and I hope you succeed and find that success that you are looking for. So take care the rest of the day, and we'll talk soon. Peace.